This week, I'm finally getting around to something I should have done the day I moved in. Hi, John here from Clay Polygon, showing you how I make the costumes and props from the shows you love. If you're new, please consider subscribing. Please take a moment and look down. That way. The floor of my garage is uneven, it's sloping, it's cracking, and it's got massive bloody potholes in it. Simple things like wheeling my chair from one end to the other. It's just a right pain in the arse as the wheels are forever getting stuck. And don't get me started on how many mixing sticks, remember these, it takes to get my island bench level. Something must be done.
Oh, I have to say, please do ignore the video quality this week. It's a bit lower than usual, in places. Due to the work I've been doing, I had to open the blinds, I couldn't use my usual lighting rig, and I also had to use a few lower quality time-lapse cameras. So, yeah, sorry.
We are currently stripping out and completely redoing our kitchen. It's a lot of work. But one of the bonuses is there's a lot of old kitchen tiles that came up whole that I can reuse on my kitchen floor. First thing to do, clean off any old grout and any high points of adhesive on the back of the tiles. Then it's pretty much just get on with it. I'm using the cheapest tile adhesive I could buy at B&Q. Here we go, these bags. I ended up getting 4 for about £10 each. That does include the grout. I decided to grout with adhesive in the end, as it's cheaper. After all, it is just the garage. Work methodically across and down the space. It took me 8 hours to tile 84 tiles. 8 hours! I was utterly broken at the end of it. I knew the floor was uneven, but I didn't realise quite how bad it was. Throughout, I was calling it the worst tiling job ever. It may not look like it on film, but I just couldn't get any tiles flat and even with their neighbours. Oh, it was just appalling. Honestly, I almost stopped and considered taking them all back up again. When you're in the thick of it, you've been doing it all day, and it's late at night, you do think of the worst. The following morning, looking at it in the light of day, it wasn't quite that bad. Yeah, it's still an awful job, but walking across it, it was fine. I pushed on with the grouting. As I said, I used the same tile adhesive. It took me 4 hours to grout. Once again, broken. The following morning, lots of light of day now, with the grout dry and that kind of evening out a lot of the gaps and the rises in the tiles. Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. As I said, whilst doing it, I was convinced it was the worst tiling job in the world. And whilst, yeah, it's still pretty bloody awful, it's the best you could do on such an uneven floor. And walking across it now it's been grouted, it's not that bad. Look, you can do this! I couldn't do that before! I could do with tiling under the bench at the head of the garage, so whilst I'm working at that bench, the chair is always on tile. And in all honesty, in the fullness of time, I fully intend to tile up to the garage door as well. I've certainly got enough tiles. It's much easier to keep clean and sweep up. Against my better judgment, I'm going to say it's been a success. I did have a much bigger reason for finally getting around to doing my garage floor this week. And if it happens, and if it starts on time, I'll tell you about it next week. I am massively excited about it. These things don't come around very often. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.